It is late, the room is dark, and the only light on your face is your phone. You are half scrolling. Then your thumb stops on a headline from September 10th, 2025. NASA. A rock in a dry riverbed on Mars, drilled by a rover, the core named Sapphire Canyon, and inside it, a possible sign of ancient life. Not life. A maybe? We have been told our whole lives that finding life out there would be the best news we ever got. Proof we are not alone. It might be the worst news in history. The better it looks, the worse it is. Last time, we stood under a sky that should have been crowded and asked where everybody is. This is the answer nobody wants. We treat the silence as a question about them, whether they're shy or too far or already gone. It was never about them. It is a question about the road. In 1998, an economist named Robin Hanson laid it out plainly. Picture the road from a dead rock to a civilization that fills a galaxy. Hanson broke it into 9 steps: a star with the right ingredients, a molecule that copies itself, a simple cell, then a complex one, sexual reproduction, many cells in one body, an animal with hands and a big brain, us, and then the stars. 9 stairs. We have climbed 8, and the 9th is empty. In 13 billion years, nobody has come down it. 6,000 planets found around other stars. 100 billion in this galaxy alone. For 60 years, the dishes have been pointed at the sky. Waiting. Not a whisper. If those stairs were easy, the sky would be busy. So at least one of them, Hanson argued, must be almost impossible. That step has a name. The Great Filter. Not a discovery. An argument. A wall. Standing across the road with footprints in the dirt leading up to it. The only question that matters is whether that wall is behind us or still ahead. A wall behind us means we're rare. A wall ahead of us means we're next. And the only place to look is here. 4.5 billion years of one planet. The only run of the experiment anyone has. Start at the beginning, because the beginning looks like the answer. Getting something dead to copy itself. Surely that is the wall. It does not look like it. In Greenland, there is a face of gray folded rock called Isua, 3.7 billion years old. Some read the shapes in it as mats left by living things. Others read folds made by heat. Unsettled. By 3.5 billion years, in Australia, the evidence gets hard to wave away. The rock is arguable. The clock is not. Life shows up almost as soon as the planet stops being lava. A few 100 million years, a rounding error on this scale. So whatever the hard step is, it probably is not the first one. Probably. One planet is a terrible sample size. And a rigged one. Every creature that ever asked this question was standing on a world where life had already worked. We cannot see the failures. Nobody is standing on them to look. It is the next part that looks suspicious. For the following 2 billion years, almost nothing you could see happens. Underneath, cells are changing in ways that take a microscope to find. From the shore, a green film on warm rock. Come back 100 million years later, and the view is the same. Life solved being alive, then sat holding it, longer than everything since, close to half the age of this planet, going nowhere you could watch. And our best candidate for a wall. But the stall did break. What broke it is the strangest item on the list. One microbe had learned to run on sunlight and give off oxygen as waste. Around 2.4 billion years ago, that oxygen started to build up. To almost everything else alive, it was poison. A whole world running on chemistry that oxygen tears apart with no defense against it. Nobody counted the dead. But the wreckage is readable. Red and black cliffs, the planet's rust laid down in bands you can count with a finger. The worst thing life ever did is the reason you can breathe. And here is the strange part. somewhere in that long middle, one cell swallowed another and did not digest it. The one inside stayed and started making power for both of them. Every complex cell alive today, every eukaryote, traces back to that partnership. Every plant, every animal. You. It may have been tried before and failed. We cannot know. What we can say is that in 4 billion years, on a planet crawling with life, exactly one of those partnerships has anything left alive to show for it. 1. Here is where the ground drops away. In 2008, a philosopher named Nick Bostrom published a line that sounds unhinged until you follow it. I hope that our Mars probes will discover nothing. Here's why. The improbability has to sit somewhere. The silence demands it. Every time we prove a step was cheap, it doesn't vanish. It slides forward, onto the stairs we haven't climbed yet. Right now, we still get to hope the wall sits on an early stair. The spark, the stall, the cell that got swallowed, safely behind us. Find life somewhere else, and that hope shrinks. A microbe on Mars with a separate start would mean the early steps happened twice in one solar system. 2 roles, 2 winners, in one small corner of one galaxy, which would mean those steps are cheap, and the wall is not back there. It is ahead of us. And the more complex the thing we find, the further forward the wall moves. A fossil worm would be far worse than a microbe. Bostrom's summary ran 5 words. No news is good news. Now, the honest objection, and it is strong. That word, separate, is doing all the work. Earth and Mars trade rock. Impacts throw pieces of one planet at the other. So a Martian microbe might be a cousin. One family, one origin, nothing learned. And what waits on the far side? The argument will not say. Only that between here and the stars sits a step almost nobody takes. And a species that gets clever faster than it gets careful is one plain way to miss it. Not a prophecy, a shape in the numbers. Not life. A maybe. That is all anyone ever claimed about that rock. There is a serious answer to all of this. In February of 2025, 4 researchers went at the hard steps idea and argued there may be no improbable steps at all. Look again at the long quiet. What if life was not waiting on luck, but on the planet? There was no oxygen to breathe until something made it. Each stage may have arrived roughly when the Earth was ready for it. The pauses are not miracles. They are a world getting ready. If that holds, we are not a fluke. We are what a planet and its life do to each other given time. But notice what it does not do. It does not put the wall behind us. It takes away one comfortable place to put it. And the sky is still silent. If the early road was never blocked, something else has to explain why nobody has ever reached us. 4 billion years of footprints on that road, ours the newest, walking towards something we cannot see the far side of. Which side of the wall are we on? If it is behind us, the silence is not a warning. It is an inheritance. Something here got past a thing almost nothing gets past, and every ancestor you have, back past the first complex cell, back to the green film on the rock, is part of the reason you are here at all. That is not a trophy. That is a job. And if it is ahead, then we are ordinary. Ordinary on this road is the problem. Nobody knows which. The silence is the only real data we have. And if hoping for an empty sky feels cold, it is not. It is one of the kinder things a person can want. So the next time your phone lights up in the dark with a maybe from Mars, you will feel 2 things at once. The pull of wanting company, and a quiet hope that the rock is only a rock. A good question sits with you longer than an easy answer ever could. There's always more to wonder about. I'm Ponder. Until the next one.